Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live chat coffee stream. I don't know what to say. I'm broken. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Good morning, Sydney. Since it's everyone here so far. So today I'm going to read some two-sentence horror stories for you guys, and then if there's anything else that you would like me to read as well, please tell me in the live comment stream thingy. Wow, I'm not rusty at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so we will start real quick here. Just need... I forgot to open something. My bad. When my best friend told me not to come to school the next day, I immediately called everyone who should know. Now, I'm lying on the floor with others. Oh, hold on. Now, I'm lying on the floor with others, wondering how my friend had... Now, I'm lying on the floor with others, wondering how my friend had known that the football team was going to go on an end of the season slaughter because of their one loss. Well, that is not a good time. And I know I picked that one because, sadly, that's kind of how I feel like the US is going right now, and it's kind of scary. Just 1 second, just recording it real quick, or saving it real quick here. Oops, wrong button. I don't know if you guys can hear the clicky clack of my keyboard. Alright. As the doctor began tightening... oh, wait, that wasn't gonna work. As the doctor began tightening the blood pressure cuff around Sarah's arm, he suddenly paused. He gently, with a D. He gently touched the scar on her neck from the home invasion 3 years ago and whispered, "I knew there was something familiar about you." We're gonna do that last part again. I knew there was something familiar about you. I couldn't even imagine what I would do in that situation. I mean, there's lots of sharp objects around. You can give a matching scar. I think it's fair. Oops, wrong button. Actually, what I can do real quick is... Hold on, I'm gonna add something real quick to the stream for you guys. Nope, that's not what I wanted. 1 second. I think it's... There. That's what I was trying to add. There you go. That way you guys can see what I'm recording. No, I do need it. Hold on. This big though. There we go. There. And now you guys can kind of see what the recording looks like. Alright. Ever since I was a kid, I never really knew why other people were so scared of hospital needles. Until one snapped off inside my vein. Yeah. Apparently, I remember reading the comments for this one that, wrong button, that you would actually have to do that on purpose. They don't snap as easily as everyone thinks they do. So that's a good thing to know, I think. Okay. Kill the humans. Destroy their property. Feast on their flesh. Before I invented the cat translator, I would have never guessed what my ordinary... Hold on one sec. Okay. Let's try that again. Kill the humans. Destroy their property. Feed on their flesh. Before I invented the cat translator, I would have never guessed that my ordinary little... ordinary... Oh great, that's one of those words. Yay! Ornery. Before I invented the cat translator, I would have never guessed that my ordinary... Not ordinary. Ornery. I never guessed my ordinary. Before I invented the cat translator, I would have never guessed that my ordinary... Before I invented the cat translator, I would have never guessed what my... Ornery boys. My ornery little boy's meows meant. Gotta see if that actually worked. One sec, guys. Yeah, that sounds fine. Some words I just don't ever use in real life, and that is one of them. Okay. Let me just... One moment. Let's take a drink. The stories of how those barbarians mercilessly slaughtered their enemies are well known in my tribe. But to my surprise and relief, after they captured me and my comrades, they bathed us, fed us, gave us beautiful clothes, and even invited us to take part in a big celebration. Uh-oh, sacrifices. Or might I say sacrifices? I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna eat them or not, but remember, never let someone dress you up really pretty and give you nice things. They're just gonna eat you. All the stories I've read have proof so. Right there. There we go. I love the fact the word barbarian is a Greek thing for basically people who don't speak Greek, because I thought everyone sounded like they were saying bar, 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 bar. Yes, I know random things. It's weird. It makes my brain weird some days. September 16th. It's a very old word. And very interesting to me, at least. Oh, I'm happy you enjoy listening, Renelada? Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but I'm happy you guys like listening, especially to my stories. And also welcome. I think it's the first time I've ever seen you on my live stream. Alright. The next one is... I never understood why my wife always I never understood why Sorry. I never understood why my wife always insisted on being the bigger spoon. The big spoon, not bigger. I never understood why my wife always insisted on being the big spoon. But when I wrapped my arms around her sleeping form, I felt hot breath on my face as her hair moved to reveal a large grin. And that's how you get eaten. Oof. Yes, bigger spoon, not big spoon. Jeez. My brain is broken. Give you guys a little bit of keyboard ASMR. Okay, so... Oh, this one broke my heart when I read it. I woke up in the middle of the night and saw my dog facing towards me, resting its head on the pillow next to me. I started petting it, but as soon as my head goes past its neck, my hand lands on the dap isn't dap, yeah. I started petting it, but as soon as my hand goes past its neck, my hand lands on a damp mattress. Something ate the dog. It makes me so upset. So upset. I don't even know what my response would be if anyone did that to my little dog. I love my dog too much. Okay. Thank you for liking how I read the stories, and and now you see behind how many times it takes me to tell said stories. And apparently one of Sydney's cats is at her feet cuddling now. My dog is at the door staring at it, hoping to be let out, and I'm like, I'm busy. I can't just get out. I keep trying to kick you out one night before a live stream, but no, you want to be in here. And like 15, 20 minutes in, she always wants to leave, and I'm like, I can't just get up and let you out. You know this. And now she's eyeing me like, just let me out. I just want to go. My father mocked me and threw away my makeup, deciding that we would go hunting in the woods so I could man up. I must say, taking a son who hates him in the middle of nowhere and then teaching him how to use a rifle wasn't his brightest idea. I just love that story. That one, when I read it, I was like, yes, please. Some stories I'm like, yeah. And some stories make me sad, like the dog one. Right here. And when I read the other stories, I won't be recording them, so I'll just tell them. But these ones I am recording, so. These will be going live at some point in the near future. September the 16th. I think we have about 10 left. Truth be told, I get through so much faster when I live stream them than when I do them on my own, because I can't just get up and leave when I want. I have to keep going for you guys. It helps. I've noticed it helps. 3 weeks ago exactly, my newborn daughter was pronounced stillborn. So why could I still hear her cries every night? Ghost baby? I don't know why, but the thought of that gave me chills. The sheer thought of it. It also made me think of a bunch of different kinds of stories I've ever heard growing up. I'm hoping the background music is not ruining these, by the way. I cannot hear it, so I forgot to. And there'll be, I think about 3 where I'm really going to pause in front of them and read them, because, I have, Hey, Scary Show. Yeah, but, he's a lot better live reader than I am, but I'm also partly fighting sometimes my dyslexia. And I'm happy that the background music is good, because it's literally random. I put it on random and let it play whatever it's going to play, so. But yeah, I've got 3 stories that I grabbed from another part of the spreadsheet, where they're from a writer who is named Sugar Sod, who lets me read his stories. Like, he just sends me stories and lets me read them whenever I want. So sometimes he writes stuff that I don't feel comfortable for my channel, so I don't read them. But, so I'll just read those before I record them. I might just read them to you, but if I decided I'm not going to record them, I won't. My wife always cooks breakfast for our little family until we... What time? My wife always cooked breakfast for our little family until we hit hard times. I was surprised to smell bacon one morning instead of the baby crying like usual. the other white meat. Someone's having long pig. Well, I guess in this thing it's going to be a little bit of short pig. Tiny. Someone's wife snapped, maybe. Excuse me. I did just wake up. Nope. There it is. I had ice cream for breakfast because I'm so healthy. Some days you gotta feed that little kid inside yourself. Alright, so... yeah, I've actually been at a couple of Let's Read's live streams, and yeah, he's so much better than me. Thank you for telling me I'm doing so good. It's actually sugar, like this. It's actually a System of a Down reference. We've actually had full conversations about it. He's a super System of a Down fan, so. And apparently Sydney had eggs, bacon, toast, and coffee. Yummy. I have ice cream, water, and a can of cherry Coke. Don't take me for health advice. I don't have it. At least the water's healthy. Yeah. Yeah, no, we've had big conversations. I thought it was a System of a Down reference, and then we finally had a conversation. It's like, yeah, I love System of a Down. Like, that's so good. Yeah, it's a Sugar. It's a song Sugar by System of a Down. Yep, it's exactly what it is. That's what his name references. So it's Sugar Sod. I pronounce it that way. I don't know if it's completely right, but I mean, it's close as I'm gonna get it. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. I can't spell either. I read, and I'm a narrator. This is a terrible idea. Who decided that I should be a narrator? Oh wait, I did. My bad. Alright, one more. Hi, Lulu. Hi. Come here, Lulu. Come here. Come here. Hey, princess. We got a Lulu. Lulu, can you grumble? Lulu, can you grumble? Come on, a little louder. Grumble. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Go on your bed. Good girl. Okay, she decided she's no longer going to stay in the bed at the door, and she's just going to come here. Yeah, can't read, can't write, somehow we narrate. I don't know how we do this. Tears streamed down my face as I Tears streamed down my face as I stared at the stamp 95 on my paper. As my family looked on sadly, I shuffled into the sub 100 IQ line. Hold on one time. I'm gonna do the whole thing together. Tears streamed down my face as I stared at the stamp 95 on my paper. As my family looked on sadly, I shuffled into the sub 100 IQ line, knowing what was coming next for me. I'm gonna do that one more time on that second part. As my family looked on sadly, I shuffled into the sub 100 IQ line, knowing what was coming next for me. There we go. I like that one a little bit better. I think we have another sacrifice. Gotta have those sacrifices. Also, the worst part is IQ is... it's not what everyone thinks it is. Because, not all those questions are, can be universally answered. No, I didn't do that. Okay. There we go. Everything has a step. Okay, that one's done. Alright, good to get another drink. Between reading, I double check your guys' comments for you. Okay. Oh, right, this one. Despite the shock and grief I was in, I managed to sign the paper. Shoot. No. Stop. Despite the shock and grief, Despite the shock and grief I was in, I managed to sign the paperwork that gave the doctors permission to harvest the organs of my now dead son. Had I known that a clerical. Had I known of the clerical error. Had I known of the clerical error Had I known of the clerical error would make it so that. Had I known of the clerical error would make it so my son's heart ended up in the chest of the drunk driver who killed him, I never would have done it. Apparently my error is error. That's great. I don't even know if you can, like, sue over that or something. Like, yeah, that would be so heartbreaking. Actually, I'm gonna go signed instead of signing. September. One sec. There we go. I got too many things open. Yeah, no, they call it gifting over harvesting because it definitely has a much different feel than harvesting does. And really, doing that is kind of a gift, and I'm so sorry that your nephew OD'd. That's horrible. Actually, I think I remember you telling me about that too. My 4-year-old acted fast when she realized her skirt was on fire, working quickly to douse the flames. My 4-year-old acted fast when she realized her skirt was on fire, working quick to douse the flames. When I discovered her still... I'm not sure what that word is. Come on, come back. Thank you. Delete that. So delete that. When I discovered her still clutching the melting bottle of rubbing alcohol in her charred hands, I would have given anything to go back in time and teach her that not all liquids put out fire. Let me do it one more time. When I discovered her still clutching the When I discovered her still clutching the melted bottle of rubbing alcohol in her charred hands, I would have given anything to go back in time and teach her that not all liquids put out fire. That would be heartbreaking. It's clear though, why doesn't it work? There we go. So sorry, I had a bit of a sneezing attack there. Don't really want to do that on mic recording it for you or telling you guys. Well, not telling you, but hearing it. Not very pleasant. This one. You have never seen your classroom so still, nor your class so well behaved. 30 faces swirl to face you as you enter. 30 sets of eyes filled with fear and confusion. And one exact copy of you already standing at the blackboard. I don't even know what you would do. It's you. You're teaching. But you're not. Also, what did they do to scare the kids so bad? My nose likes to run and I absolutely hate it. All right. So sorry about that, guys. I just sneezed a bunch. And I think there's another one coming. Darn it. Hopefully that's the end of that. I hate sneezing. Okay, for real, I hope that's the end of that, because I don't want to sneeze anymore. So sorry about that, guys. Okay, we have less than 10. We're at 9 now, so... Alright. There we go. Jeez. I regret not being honest with my mother when she asked if I was a virgin. But as the knife was placed against my throat, Come on, stop. But as the knife was placed against my throat, I reveled in the fact that my sacrifice would be tainted, and our God is not merciful. Dun, dun, dun. We're all going to die. Or worse. Non merciful gods can. Some mythology can be worse than death. I've listened to read too much myths and too many horror stories at this point. What is that? I was a horrible person to my mother-in-law, and 3 years ago, on her deathbed, she cursed me and swore she would pay me back. Hold on. I was a horrible person to my... I was a horrible person to my mother-in-law. Blech. I was a horrible person to my mother-in-law, and 3 years ago on her deathbed, she cursed me and swore she would pay me back from the afterlife. Today, my 2.5-year-old daughter inquisitively. Today, my 2.5-year-old daughter inquisitively asked me, "Hey, Dad, remember when I was the older one and you were the young, mean one?" Do that one more time. Today, my 2.5-year-old daughter inquisitively asked me, Today, my 2.5-year-old daughter inquisitively asked me, "Hey, Dad, remember when I was the older one and you were the young, mean one?" Well, there goes your curse. She's going to be the daughter from hell. She's going to get in all the trouble, make your life a living nightmare. Alright. They say that the soul cannot rest until the body is given a proper burial. As my body lay on the unforgiving, frigid slopes for centuries, I began to... As my body lay on the unforgiving, frigid slopes for centuries, I began to regret ever wanting to climb Mount Everest. Mount Everest is a graveyard. They have markers with dead bodies. It's absolutely horrifying, and people pay so much money to go do it, and I'm just thinking, you can't pay me enough to try to do it. It's just so bad. And I heard of one story where someone passed away on the mountain, and they did a bunch of stuff to finally get them off the mountain and like properly bury them, because they didn't want them to become a marker, like, you know, green boots are and stuff like that. I don't know. Mount Everest is just one of those things that... It was interesting when they were trying to basically see if it was could be done, but now it's become a tourist trap in its own way. It's like covered in garbage and literal dead bodies at this point. It's just, I don't get why people climb it anymore. And apparently Sydney says, "I know, I've never been the adventurous type either." Like, I like exploring, like, woods and stuff like that, but it's so dangerous and so cold. I just couldn't do it. I do not do well with feeling cold. I hate the feeling. I don't wanna. No, I'm good. You can, those millions of millionaires or very well-off people can go have fun climbing a mountain that literally wants to kill them because they can't breathe. I've always known I wanted to be a mother and hoped I... This sounds terrible. I've always known I wanted to be a mother and hoped to spend my entire adult... I've always known I wanted to be a mother and hoped to spend my entire adulthood pregnant. Things didn't work out that way, but with the help of swarm of boat flies... Right, I forgot about this one. Things didn't work out that way, but with the help of a swarm of bolt flies. Things didn't work out that way, but with the help of a swarm of bolt flies, I still get to carry plenty of new life. Ugh. No, I'm good. You can... Ugh. No. Ugh. Also, the whole... I want to be pregnant my whole adult life. No, I'm good. I'm good. Nope. Ugh. The whole story is just like, nope. Every part of it sounds like a horror story to me. I got nothing against with being pregnant, but your whole adult life being pregnant non-stop does not sound fun. Apparently, Sydney goes to the mountains every year in November for my birthday, which cold, but also probably fun and less horrible. And never been pregnant, and I'm 64 and never missed it. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Just, yeah, no, I agree. Nope. Not 64, but, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't think I'm missing out. Doesn't sound like a fun time. I've always tried to keep my work and family life separate. However, as I loaded my son's lifeless body onto the stretcher, I realized I had failed. And a very loud car just passed by. Can't say much because I own a very loud car. Alright. Gotta keep them separated. Sorry. Cannot get copied from him, that's just one phrase. YouTube gods, don't copyright me. "3 days of hard labor for breaking my fence," the strange man said, and I hesitantly agreed. When I was done, I found myself in the middle of the forest, 10 years older, and at the edge of a ring of mushrooms I apparently stepped on. Ooh, someone ticked off the Fae. That's a bad idea. You know what? I'm gonna try that one more time. Hold new record. One more time. 3 days of hard labor for breaking my fence. The strange man said, and I hesitantly agreed. When I was done, I found myself in the middle of the forest, 10 years older, and at the edge of a ring of mushrooms I apparently stepped on. Yeah, be careful with the mushrooms. The Fae don't play nice. Ring of mushrooms, there's something else that's supposed to be Fae as well. Though, I question why mushrooms grow in a ring. Okay, last 4. Alright. Yep, I think this one I can do. My husband was becoming very irritable as he desperately wanted to meet his son, and I was now 2 weeks past my due date. One more time. My husband was becoming very irritated. My husband was becoming very irritable as he desperately wanted to meet his son, and I was now 2 weeks past my due date. I was awoken by him shoving the pipe to an air hose down my throat while he rubbed my forehead. It's not how it works, sir. It's not how any of this works. I was awoken by him shoving the pipe down the... I was awoken by him shoving the pipe to an air hose down my throat while he rubbed my forehead. I was awoken by him shoving the pipe to an air hose down my throat while he rubbed my forehead and assured me our son would be popping out soon. Sir, that's not how any of this works. Just not how it works, man. I really thought that was story originally. I'm gonna go with him cutting her open or something. She's gonna have a really full belly of air. Okay. This is your PSA. It doesn't work that way, man. Transfer to me. The children smirked at me when I aimed the water pistol at them, as I hoped this would stop them tormenting me. They let out ungodly shrieks as the holy water burned through their flesh before turning into a fury of bats and flying away. Flurry. See flurry. They let out ungodly shrieks as the holy water burned through their flesh before turning into a flurry of bats and flew away. Well, apparently they were children vampires. That does not sound great, actually. Couldn't even imagine being stuck as a child for all eternity. Alright. Last two, guys. Then I'll end this with one story that I'm not recording. My mother told me that she was trying to help me get into the paradise that was heaven. Sorry, hold on. My mother told me that she was trying to help me get... My mother told me she was trying to help me get into the paradise that is heaven, as a slutty girl ends up... My mother told me she was trying to help me get into the paradise that is heaven, as slutty girls end up burning in hell. My screams were muffled by the rags that had been stuffed into my mouth as she used the... yeah. I'm just going to read this one to you guys. I'm not going to actually put this one on my channel. My mother told me she was trying to help me get into the paradise that is heaven, as slutty girls end up burning in hell. My screams were muffled by the rags that had been stuffed into my mouth as she used the pliers to tear out my nipple rings. Ow. Ugh. No thank you. You can keep that one. Ugh. Nope. Ugh. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. The entire way home, I felt as though I was followed, yet I could not see anyone behind me. No. The entire way home, I felt as though I was being followed, yet I could not see anyone behind me. I suddenly stopped before setting my foot onto the ground and froze when I heard another shoe hit the ground behind me. Sometimes you're right. You are being followed. That's also the last word, guys. Last of my 2 sentences. Okay, and with that, I have all of them recorded. Alright, so that can get closed because I don't need that. Alright, So I'm gonna go find a story to read for you guys. Just let me go look at my other spreadsheet, because I've got spreadsheets for days. So that way it keeps me organized. Let's go with that one. Okay. Stories. Okay. Oh, and I won't lie, I'm not... Okay, this one I won't lie, I'm not sure if it's true or fiction, because it was under the Reddit Scary Stories, which sometimes does have true stories in it. So just to give you a heads up, I'm not sure if this is fictional or true. We weren't alone that night. By overall importance, 63. Me and my family live near the Appalachian mountain range in Virginia. My father is a very outdoorsy man. Well, I don't totally like all the stuff he does, like camping, but one day he still took me camping. My father was 45 at the time and was a pretty well-built guy. He was 6'2" to 6'3" and lifted weights regularly. He had been raised on a farm, so he had always been outdoors, and I did go hunting with him a few times, so I knew my way around the woods pretty well. This was supposed to be a hunting trip where we would hunt during the day, then camp at night. After a day of hiking out to the spot, which took about 2 hours, setting up and hunting, we were both ready to fall asleep. My dad liked to whistle when he fell asleep, and it also helped me fall asleep. Right before I fell asleep, I heard a very strange sound and woke up. My father was still awake, so I asked him what it was. Since he had grown up outdoors, was always outdoors, he knew how every animal sounded, no matter what the call was, so he told me what it was. Turns out it was a coyote. After that, I fell asleep but was shaken awake by my father after I don't know how long. He had a very panicked look on his face, and he said we needed to get out of there. I was confused until I heard it. It was a blood-curdling scream coming from somewhere beyond the tree line, where we couldn't see. I asked my father if we could help them since that sounded like they needed help, but he ignored my question. I kept asking questions about it. It wasn't until he looked at me and whispered, I'm in my 45 years on this earth, I've never heard that noise before. This made me scared, since if anyone knew what an animal sounded like, it would be him. Eventually, we packed everything up and we went to pack up the tent. We heard the scream again, but this time much closer. I looked towards the tree line and saw a tall figure, maybe 6'9" to 6'11", staring at us. I guess my father saw it too, because he grabbed my arm and just said, "Let's go." I was paralyzed with fear at this point, but eventually snapped out of it. I grabbed my bag and followed my father back to the car. It was about a 5-mile walk back. Throughout the first mile, it kept screaming as we went, and it was getting closer. If we sped up, it sped up. If we slowed down, it slowed down. Around mile 3, I heard another scream, but this time it was different. It sounded louder and more urgent. My dad must have noticed this too, because he started jogging. I tried my best to keep up, but my dad was in peak shape and I wasn't very fit. My dad stopped with about a mile to go to catch his breath, but at this point, I had no energy and didn't think I could make it. Just as I was thinking that, I heard another scream, but this one was way too close. It sounded like it was coming from 10 feet away, and it made my ears ring. This gave me a new boost. Hold on one second. This gave me a new boost as I started sprinting to the car. Eventually, I saw the tailgates of the car. My dad had passed me at that moment and opened the passenger door. My dad had passed me at that moment and opened the passenger door as I jumped in. He got in the driver's seat, and before I could even process what was happening, he sped off. As I was catching my breath in the car, I heard one final scream. This one was so loud it made my ears ring while in the car. My dad didn't even look back. He just sped up. Eventually, we made it home. We never told our family about this, and sometimes I asked my father what it was, and to this day, he says he doesn't know. And that's that. Did you guys want me to, well, I guess Sydney, did you want me to read you another one? I can do one more for you if you want. Since you're the only one here right now. Okay, I'll find you one more real quick here. Yeah, I think I'm going to assume that one's actually a true story. It's the problem with scary stories. It's hard to tell in that subreddit. That's the one I read you, so let's go with this one. I'm loyal. Yes, you are. The Haunting of Willbrook Manor, A Descent into Darkness, by Many Definitions 6775. It was an instant decision, or so I thought. I had always been fascinated by the supernatural, drawn in by the eerie tales that sent shivers down my spine. Little did I know that my curiosity would lead me down a path of terror and despair into the heart of the otherworldly nightmare. It began when I stumbled upon an obscure ad in the local newspaper, seeking brave souls, Willowbrook Manor, the most haunted house in the country. The allure was undeniable, and against my better judgment, I decided to embark on this particular journey. Arriving at the Willowbrook Manor, I was greeted by an imposing Victorian mansion, shrouded in ominous mist. Its dilapidated facade eluded an air of desolation and decay. Despite the chill in the air, I felt an inexplicable warmth tingling at my insides, urging me to explore its haunted halls. Stepping through the creaking double doors, I was enveloped in a suffocating darkness that seemed to whisper ancient secrets. The air was thick with tangible sense of foreboding. As I cautiously made my way through the labyrinth corridors, I could hear distant whispers and disembodied footsteps echoing from unseen corners. Rooms that had long been abandoned sprung to life, each with its own separate inhabitants. The spirit of tormented artist, forever trapped in the pursuit of his masterpiece. The ghosts echoed of a child's laughter, accompanied by phantom cries of grieving mother. Shadows danced along the walls, mocking my feeble attempts to escape their clutches. The nights were the worst, as the moon bathed Willbrook Manor in an otherworldly glow. The spirits grew restless, their presence intensified. The walls seemed to breathe, and the paintings that lined them twisted and contorted into macabre scenes. The anguished cries of the damned resonated throughout the halls, sending chills down my spine. Sleep became a distant memory as nightmares plagued my every moment. Visions of apparitions with hollow eyes, their spectacled fingers creasing my soul. Dreams being trapped in a never-ending maze pursued by nameless horrors. Each night was an endless descent into darkness, robbing me of my sanity. Days turned into weeks, and I found myself spiraling deeper into the clutches of the Willbrook Manor. The line between reality and the supernatural blurred, leaving me questioning my very existence. The spirits seemed to feed off my fear. Growing stronger with each passing day. I sought solace in the outlying communities, sharing my experiences and searching for answers. But all that I found were others trapped in their own haunted nightmares, their lives forever intertwined with the terrible forces that plagued Willbrook Manor. It was a curse that bound us together, a collective suffering that no one else could comprehend. Now, as I sit here in the flickering candlelight writing this desperate account, I can feel the presence of the spirits closing in, their icy breath creasing my neck and whispering promises of eternal torture. I know that escape is impossible, that I am forever condemned to wander the halls of Willbrook Manor, a prisoner of my own curiosity. So, dear listener, hear my warning. If you ever come across an invitation to Willbrook Manor, cast it aside. For within its walls lies a darkness that will consume your very soul. And once you enter, there is no turning back. And with that, my friends, that will be all the stories. The live reading ones go a little bit shorter because it's hard to read. It's just so difficult. Thank you everyone for joining me, and anyone who's listening on the playback. I hope you enjoyed the reads. Please remember that these start at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday. Either I have guests or I will live read to you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday or rest of your day, and I will see you next Saturday. Take care, everyone.